Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. On behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you joined us for the last day of our three-day mining conference. Our next live presentation is from Goldgroup Mining. Please note you may submit questions for the presenter in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings by clicking Book a Meeting in the top toolbar. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Ralph Shearing. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Goldgroup Mining, which trades on the OTCQX Best Market under the symbol GGAZF and on the TSXV under the symbol GGA. Welcome back, Ralph.
Thank you, John, very much. Glad to be here. So I'll jump into the presentation. Thank you for joining, everybody. I'm here to tell you about Goldgroup Mining, exciting production situation, fast-track growth ahead of us. So here's our disclaimer. We'll be talking about forward-looking statements, so please be aware and read this at your leisure. So about Goldgroup. So we're a well-financed company. We have about $20 million in the bank at this point in time. We are leveraged to gold, and we have two high-growth production asset development gold assets in Mexico. Cerro Prieto is 100% owned, as is the Pinos project, and we are working towards M&A opportunities and are quite excited to soon be able to announce some of those. The founders of Luca Mining are now building Goldgroup Mining, and I am the founder with a cohort from university named Paul Chung. We found Luca Mining and have developed Luca Mining over the number of years. 2 years ago, I left that company as it was growing into a much larger production situation. We were able to explore, develop, and construct the Tahuehueto mine in Mexico under Luca, and we bought another mine called Campo Morado. So I have a lot of experience in exploration development, into construction, and knowing what it takes to get a project into production. So next slide. Here's our strategic roadmap for Goldgroup. Right now we're mining and operating the Cerro Prieto mine. It is a small producing open pit gold mine with growth opportunities. We're in the past have been producing about 11,500 ounces annually. However, we just expanded and now are optimized our project. We're able to double that production. We're actually looking at 24,000 ounces annually from Cerro Prieto. And then we have this Pinos project, which is a fully permitted opportunity at a PEA level at this point in time. We're planning to update the technical report and do an economic study to look at the economics of putting that project into production. And I stress it is fully permitted, so it would be easy to move it towards production. And we just announced kind of an interesting situation. We have purchased the majority of the creditor debt of the San Francisco gold mine in Sonora, Mexico. This was a mine that went into receivership a number of years ago. And by acquiring the majority of the creditor debt, we now believe we control the liquidation process. We have submitted a plan of arrangement to the liquidator, and that will be voted on by shareholders. As we control the majority, we'll pass that vote, and then it will go to the courts in Mexico to approve. Once that is completed, we expect to own 100% of the San Francisco mine. I'll tell you a bit more about it in the presentation, but it's a fantastic opportunity for us. And we are working on other potential M&A acquisitions to get us well beyond the 100,000 ounce gold producer annually. Here's our vision. So current baseline production from Cerro Prieto, 11 to 12,000 ounces annually. Optimize and explore Cerro Prieto. Through our optimization and bringing on a releaching project, we expect to bring the production up to around 34,000 ounces of gold annually. And then with the development on Pinos, if we choose to put that in production, we should be able to see about 12,700 ounces annually from that. And then at San Francisco, again, we don't own San Francisco at this point in time. However, we believe we will in the near future. that could add 44,000 ounces of gold production. So we expect this company to be at the 90,000 ounce gold production level late 2026 or 27. Our plan for San Francisco, if we're successful in the acquisition, would be to put it back in production mid next year. So with further M&A opportunities that we are advanced on, we expect Goldgroup to be producing over 100,000 ounces of gold annually. Again, if we're successful in bringing another M&A transaction in. So showing a little bit of our projects, here is where they're located. So the San Francisco project in Sonora State is here. And that is, as I say, we're looking at a restart of a large-scale project with extraordinary upside potential. 2 pits were in operation. It's production ready. Resource upside is great. Multiple exploration targets available. Drilling, we're planning to drill on the project to confirm resources and update the mine plan. Then we'll get going on the mining again, assuming we are successful in the acquisition of that project. Cerro Prieto and San Francisco are close together, so there's good synergies between those two projects. So it's again in Sonora State, producing open pit heap leach gold mine with historical production 12,500. So we've expanded the crushing capability, and we're now able to produce 24,000 ounces of gold from production, and bringing on the re-leaching project, we expect to bring that up to around 34,000 ounces. The re-leaching is targeted for Q1 2026, should add around 9,000 ounces of gold annually for 5 or 6 years. So that's where we get this 34,000 ounce projection from. Pinos is in Zacatecas here. It's a fully permitted PEA level gold development project and a former underground mines. The idea there would be to bring it back into production, subject to the economics being favorable, and at these gold prices recently, this project will definitely be favorable. So we have to get the PEA or the pre-feas probably underway and get that completed, decide next year whether we want to put this into production. So we bring 5 key elements: so operations and mine build expertise, exploration success, financial capacity. Goldgroup has raised over $35 million in the last 5 to 6 months. We have political expertise and community relations expertise in Mexico. Mexico experts were recognized in acquiring undervalued assets and turning them around into development assets. And we have a deep knowledge of the Mexican mining landscape. We've successfully identified opportunities in value creation. Example, Luca Mining, building Tabahueto, purchasing and restarting the Campo Morado project under Luca Mining. Here is our capital structure. So we have 291 million shares issued, fully diluted. We're just under 360. Warrants and options will bring in additional cash. Our market cap is currently around $280 to $290 million Canadian. And we have a cash position right now of around $20 million in the bank. Major shareholders, Eric Sprott at just under 10%, and Kalu Opportunities Fund at just under 20%. And you can see we've had a very good stock chart over the last little while with the increase in metal prices, primarily gold, but as well as bringing in these major investors. Our management board of directors. So I am the CEO, I'm the professional geologist, extensive experience in exploration and development in mining. And since 1987, I've held senior executive roles in junior mining companies, primarily as CEO, president, including Luca Mining. And I founded that company in 1986 and stuck with it to develop the mine and the success that it is now. Anthony Bellick's the CFO, Deloitte trained. He's an excellent CEO, one of the best I've had working with me, and I'm pleased to have him. Corey has worked in a number of different companies. He was involved as the CFO in Cabo Drilling. He also managed large-scale projects. He's an engineer. He's over 100 million for large projects over $100 million for companies like Suncor Energy and Transatlanta. Blair specializes in restructuring, advising, turnaround strategies, multiple industries. CFO of Highburn Media Inc. and held senior roles in various companies. Interim CEO, previously Managing Director of Investment Banking, previously as Managing Director of Investment Bank at Echelon Wealth Partners. A lot of investment banking experience there. Roberto Guzman, he's a Master in Finance from University Technological in Mexico. And he's a fairly significant shareholder in the company. He's been on the board for about a year and is very helpful with us for working in Mexico. So we'll talk a little bit about San Francisco. This is the opportunity we see coming for the company. As we mentioned, we purchased the majority of the creditor debt, so now control the liquidation process. This is a former operating mine. It's ready to restart at any time. There's a lot of exploration potential off this area down in to the south this way. Over in this area in here, there is a pushback opportunity, a number of drill holes into it, and we want to continue to drill that, and then we'll be looking at mining that. Up here, there's another open pit and lots of potential around there. So this is a mine that we feel can be brought back into production rapidly, inexpensively, and bring in gold production over the next 8 to 10 years with current resources and lots of potential to expand on that and continue to operate over the coming years. So the overview of San Francisco, we expect to own it 100% out of liquidation. Again, I stressed it's not there yet, but we believe we'll be there very shortly. The project should produce about 44,000 ounces of gold annually once it's back into production, processing around 16 to 17 tons per day through the 2 existing crushing circuits. It's production ready, multiple exploration targets, large scale open pit project with high grade gold zones. There's 1.4 million ounces of gold equivalent in M&I at 0.45 grams per ton. And it has a historic NI 43-1 technical report of August 2020. We'll be updating that assuming we acquire the project. Infrastructure is great on this project. There's a highway right next door. There's a railway next door, grid power available. ADR plant is there for recovering the gold. The crushers are all there. This would be a very easy restart. Go in, clean everything up, and just get the project back up and running. Bring in mining contractors to start operations. And we anticipate mid next year to be able to do that, assuming we're successful in the acquisition. So permanent, San Francisco permanent and ready for reopening. Basically, I already mentioned all of these, so I'm going to skip over that. And we'll talk about Cerro Prieto. So Cerro Prieto is the mine that the company brought into production in 2013, long before I joined. I've been with the company about 2 years. It's a heap leach operation. This is a crushing circuit. We've added another crushing circuit here that isn't shown on this photo, but it is now up and running. So increasing our crushing capacity. The overview, it's owned 100%. Current annual production, around 12,500 ounces. In its life, it's produced around 120,000 ounces of gold. And we have now got the project ready to double our production and adding a re-leaching project, basically taking and reprocessing the existing heap leach pile. We expect to bring Cerro Prieto up to 34,000 ounces of gold annually. And that would be the 34,000 ounces includes this re-leaching, and that's around 8,000 to 9,000 ounces annually for probably 6 years. This is a Google Earth image of the project. The majority of the past mining was through this area, the central pit, the Union pit, up here at the Puma pit. We are now mining this Esperanza area here. This is all being mined. We have more ore available here at Nuevo Esperanza and Reina that will be targeted and mined in the near future. We have had new discoveries down here at Kata and Koti. These are early stage. We still have a lot of work to do here. We discovered them in trenching. We will do geophysics and drilling to see what we can prove up there. But we have found another ore body here called the Saguaro in the new zone. Definition drilling is underway. And this is an interesting situation. This is under some of the existing leach pads. So previous management did not do any condemnation drilling here. They should have, but they didn't. So our re-leaching project will start to remove this material. We'll be targeting a heap leach pad over here, exposing that for an open pit in the future. Excuse me. So, this, to summarize this slide, lots of exploration potential to add to the resources. The current life of the mine is probably about 1.5 years with what we have now. But with bringing this in, new discoveries in various areas, we expect this to continue to bring in resources to feed the mill over the coming years. Jump into Pinos. So Pinos is in Zacatecas. This is a fully permitted project for construction. It's located in Zacatecas. It's the second largest mining state in Mexico. We have 29 concessions, 90 kilometers northwest of San Luis Potosi. Very good location, good infrastructure. It's a low sulfidation, epithermal gold-silver vein system, multiple primary structures related to major regional shears. Multiple high-grade vein structures, historic production in the 1900s to 1942. The grades were averaging 30 to 50 grams per ton of gold. So this is a narrow vein, high-grade gold-silver operation. It had a positive, previous owners prepared a preliminary economic assessment in 2018. It was positive at those prices. So it's certainly positive, will be positive at current prices. It showed 86,000 ounces of gold, 1.3 million ounces of silver, at a 2.2 gold equivalent cutoff, and the PEA was priced at $12.50 gold per ounce. So there's a very good small-scale mine that could be brought into production and could be very profitable at current metal prices. Metal recoveries have shown in metallurgical testing to be 90% plus for gold. So a review, restart of Pinos. Phase 1 would do some drilling, and then 2, upgrade the preliminary economic assessment, probably to a pre-feasibility study or a feasibility study. The next step would be to advance it to production decision, contingent on favorable economic outcomes. We believe this mine would be $20 to $25 million to construct and put in operation, but let's wait for the economic study and the real cost to actually know what that is. Future outlook, positive resource growth and an updated PEA should support production decision and may support a case for increased throughput capacity. So our upcoming catalyst at Goldgroup is number 1, mine expansion and drilling at Cerro Prieto. We expect to have double the output now. The crushers are now working, so we're going to be expecting a larger gold production from the mine moving forward. And then we have the re-leaching initiative that we're trying to fund the purchase of equipment. We hope to bring that into production Q1 of next year. Drilling and trenching and geophysics at the new discoveries will be continuing and ongoing. At Pinos, exploration drilling is planned, and we want to update the historic PEA. That, there's probably a 6-month process in there before we would know whether that project is something we want to put into production. San Francisco mine, the plan of arrangement has been filed with the liquidator to acquire. The steps now are the creditor vote and then goes to courts for approval. We expect to have that through the courts within the next 30 to 60 days. No promises, but that's the targeted time frame we're looking at this point in time. We would expect to have research covered, institutional buying coming in, which is we already have with Eric Sprott and his group, Capital Opportunities Fund, significantly enhanced market awareness and greater liquidity because of that, which we believe more will be coming soon. And then new acquisitions. We are in an advanced state of due diligence on a project. We hope that we'll be successful and bring that into the company over the coming months. So what does this mean for Goldgroup? Well, what we are building, a mid-tier gold producer. We expect this to be in the 100,000 ounce production range late next year or earlier. That means a much higher market cap. Any companies, if you look at peers producing 100,000 ounces of gold, they're in excess of 750 million market cap, closer to $1 billion market cap. We would expect Goldgroup to be seeing those types of valuations if we're successful in our goals. Continued aggressive stock growth track with M&A opportunities, optimization, development, and exploration upside at the projects. We have a highly experienced and respected team in Mexico, are uniquely qualified to recognize and act on opportunities in Mexico. And the portfolio of top producing assets generating strong cash flow with a strong management team and operations team. So that's my presentation. We're located in Vancouver, British Columbia. Our contact information is here. Email info@goldgroupmining.com. And we trade on the TSX Venture under GGA, OTCQX, GGAZF. And we also are listed for trading in Frankfurt under 55G0 symbol. So with that, I can open up for questions. Finished fairly early here, so we can go for about 10 minutes of questions if there are any. So here comes a few questions. Can you discuss your current capital structure, and does the 20 million cash on hand fund your initiative through 2026? So if we go back to capital structure, assuming I can find it again. This slide here shows the capital structure. So just under 300 million shares issued, fully diluted 359, market cap at 280 million. So the question, 20 million cash on hand, we do not need hardly any more money for Cerro Prieto. We're planning on actually funding the equipment purchase for the re-leaching through a loan, some kind of a loan, which we're in discussions on now. The $20 million is enough to complete the purchase of the San Francisco, assuming we are successful in that. There will be probably about $7 million needed to be paid to the Mexican government for back taxes of San Francisco, and there are some labor costs that were not paid in the bankruptcy of that company, former company, so we would be paying that as well. And then for restarting operations, we would look to be putting together an operating capital financing to generate the operating capital to start San Francisco. Another question here, what is the timeline for Pinos drilling in the PE update? We have actually not set a time on that. We would expect that we will start the PEA process here shortly, but we should probably get some drilling done on there first. So we're investigating drilling contractors, et cetera. At the moment, I would anticipate that we would start that process probably late this year, early next year. So another question here, what is your acquisition strategy in Mexico and how does it differ from Luca's approach? Well, I can say Luca is managed by a different management team, a different board of directors. They have their ideas and targets on certain assets. They might be able to bite off a little bit larger project than us at the moment. Our strategy would be to look for undervalued assets, primarily production assets that may need to be improved or restarted. That's kind of our approach at this point in time. Another question, what is the path to scale production to 100,000 ounces and eventually 200,000 a year? So that can be kind of outlined on this slide. So you can see here, we should be in the neighborhood of 90,000 ounces, assuming we're successful with San Francisco and we're able to put Pinos into production. To propel us over the 100,000 up to 200,000 ounces would be additional M&A opportunities. And as I mentioned, we're in advanced due diligence on one particular potential acquisition, which we hope to bring to the market over the next 1 to 2 months. We're also investigating other opportunities on an ongoing basis. Let's see, another question. Are you attracting institutional interest in Goldgroup? And how would you categorize the M&A environment for Mexican projects? Well, as you can see, we've already got institutional interest from Eric Sprott, Kalu Opportunities Funds, with combined owning approximately 30% of the company. As we start to achieve these goals, particularly if we're successful in San Francisco, we would assume we will get more institutional coverage and interest. And categorize the M&A opportunity environment in Mexico. I believe that the M&A opportunities in Mexico are very good. The Mexican government has not been kind to mining in the past under the previous president. The new president is becoming more favorable towards mining. There's still room to grow and get better, but we are seeing some projects being permitted. But the previous administration and the slow process of the new administration, I think, has made many groups, particularly Canadian and US investors, pull out of Mexico because of the uncertainty. We're very comfortable operating there based on our past success, our deep knowledge of the country, and the connections we have developed over that period of time. So very comfortable in Mexico and see great opportunity in M&A acquisitions and various projects that are becoming available. Let's see if there's any more questions. So I don't see any more questions. We only have a couple of minutes left, so I think it's probably can just sign off and say thank you very much for listening. Please feel free to reach out at any time to get more information, and we welcome your interest. Thank you.